Okay, time to go back for page 2. The only thing I did while we were away is I added just a little bit of light here, and I brought a little more shin, but I haven't done anything more than that. What I wanted to get to next is I want to landmark the hair and make sure. And one thing I want to do before I engage that is I want to take a look at what I've got so far. I've got my 2 knee areas, and then I want to look and just kind of plot in mentally some graph lines. I want to look at the tip of the knee and go to the crown or the top of that part, and I want to do the same thing from here to there, and I want to look at the angle that it makes. I can always use a pencil. So basically this is what I'm doing. Okay, so look at that angle and hold steady and bring it here. So I've got my part a little too long, so it seems like it only should be about right there. So I'm going to swipe some of that down and check this again. You see, now we're on track. I'm going to take, like I said, my dirty paper towel, and I'm just going to take and minimize some of that. Anyway, this is going to be dark in a few minutes because of the addition of the hair. So looking at this now I can start to kind of plan. The hair touches, grows out of the kneecap about right here, right? So I'm going to start working some of that in. I can reshape it. And look at where it comes down to the knee on this side, right here. So now I've got my hair beginning to form here. And now by looking at the hair, now I can bring out the knee, the top of the knee on both sides. The edge is kind of crisp. When I blend in here to soften the graininess of the charcoal, I don't want to get too careless, because I don't want to end up with a drawing in which all the edges are soft and hazy. As you can see, that quality doesn't really show up in the drawing yet. And I'm going to come back down, kind of work a little of that dark in between the knee shapes. So now I've got a little more meat on my drawing. This area looks a little too light, so I'm just going to lightly, very lightly, just pull over the whole thing. Yeah. See how it quiets it down just by rubbing slightly over. I'm also going to change the squiggle a little bit. We have a little curvature here as it comes down. Reshape it, calm it down. And now I've got that part more to my liking. Down here. Now I could also use a little definition now. See this part right here? I erased in a little light, but I also want to just kind of suggest where that crease in the cap is. And here. A little edging of the skin. Now comes down to the arm. And create just a little shadow edge. Just a little shadow edge on that knee. You got to be careful not to overdo it. again, you can keep that value scale that I showed you in the last PowerPoint. Keep it in mind so that you don't forget. You've got to have a range of values here. And now in this spot, we got that shadow here. It kind of wraps over the leg on the right side here. And then once again we start to see how a darkening begins to show the arm that's out of our frame of reference. See that? Okay. Now we're coming back over and about to start to show the back part of the body here, which is in shadow. That's not hair. It's more shadow from that back part of the torso. Now we're going to come up to the shoulder area here. Sorry about that noise. The neighbors came home. A little noise. We're all fine. Okay, so now we're getting slightly more complete image. Now we've got a lot of space here, so it could very well be that I needed to make my shapes a little larger, but still it's comfortable. Comfortable amount of space in the drawing that I can move this clumsy piece of charcoal around without getting into a jam and trying to draw with my fingers. Now one thing I just noticed, I need to double check again angles. The angle of this arm grasping down, it should be like this. So I'm going to fill that in a little more, and this can still be okay where it is. Now here's where Q-tips can come in handy. I don't want to try to use my finger too much. Again, there's oil in your fingers. You know, when you start mixing and pushing the charcoal around, it can end up actually staining the paper and make it much more difficult to erase if you need to erase later on. See this darkening, a little dark growing out of this leg to make the edge less obvious or less visible. Check that shape again. Check that shape again. There's a part of the shin bone is pronounced here, and then just like we see this here, upon closer inspection, I see another shadowed edge from the edge of the calf when it's being bent. So I'm going to slightly imply that right here. Right, and it just disappears. This can come in handy again, lightly. Kind of lessen the graininess. If you have a Q-tip, you can use the Q-tip as a blending tool, or if you have been asked to buy a stump or a blending stick in your drawing one class, some teachers, you know, don't mind you using it, some prefer you not use it, but if you have one, go ahead and utilize it. See, so now we're getting a little more refinement here. All right, it's time for another break in the video, and when I come back, I'm going to start working with the arms and also the negative space, trying to refine it and give myself a more definite stopping point to the composition.